Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. We have some news, but before we get into that, I just want to take a minute and ask you guys to make sure that if you like this type of content, that you hit that subscribe button as well as the bell next to it to be notified of every video I post here on the channel. And if you could do me a big favor and give this video a thumbs up, that helps the channel out greatly every time you do that. And I also want to let you guys know before we even get into the video that there is probably going to be a ton of news. This video is going to take a while, so I hope you guys have nothing to do with your time, because unfortunately with Mattel kind of taking me off of YouTube for a week, there was quite a bit of news that had shown up in that time period that I was unable to cover. And yes, I will be covering the Mattel news, even though some people probably don't think I should. I feel like since, I try to cover everything, it would be kind of weird for me not to. I'm just going to be more selective with what I actually promote for them in the future, because I don't want to get in trouble again. And although they have mentioned that they're going to reach out to me in the future if there are any issues rather than hit me with copyright strikes, I'm still going to be kind of selective. But since the stuff that I'm going to share with you guys today was already shared by the Instagram account of Jurassic Outpost, I think that it's pretty safe to share that stuff because they're in direct collaboration with Mattel. And they're the ones behind the Beyond the Gates episodes that air on the Jurassic World YouTube channel, so I would imagine if they share it, it's probably safe to share. Anyway, on with the news. The very first thing that I have for you guys was actually brought to my attention thanks to Caitlin Van Huss, and it is a Regaliceratops model. This model is actually available in 1/20th scale as well as 1/35th scale, and is being released by Lingu Art Studio. I am actually not familiar with them at all, and in fact this is the first time I've ever heard of them, but what I can tell you is this model looks gorgeous. Like a really cool scene with a Regaliceratops just kind of walking along. We could see a nice tree there with a friend of our Regaliceratops lurking nearby there at the top of the tree. Again, the model does look really nice and definitely something that, has a unique appearance, because more often than not when you get models like this, you kind of just have the dinosaur, but this time we have a little bit more happening in the scene, a little bit more of an interaction between the dinosaur and whatever species we have there at the top of the tree, which I'm not too sure. It's kind of too far away for me to tell, but definitely a fun looking model. I don't know exactly how to contact Lingu Art Studio, unfortunately, because this was just kind of shared on the Dinosaur Darkroom Market on Facebook. I don't know how to get a hold of them, but if I can find a way to contact them, I definitely will add it down in the description. As far as Sanctum Archaic Stories goes, we have another look at the upcoming Giraffatitan as they are starting to assemble the model, again giving us an idea of just how beautiful it's going to look when fully finished. This is definitely one of my most anticipated models, I think, that any company is releasing, because it's the initial Sanctum Archaic Stories model, so straight away it's exciting to see what a new company can produce, but it's also really exciting because I know they have been working very hard to make this Giraffatitan as accurate as possible, so anyone that is a fan of accuracy is definitely going to get a model they're going to love when it comes to this Sanctum Archaic Stories Giraffatitan. So hopefully we will continue to see progress on this, and the full reveal shouldn't be too far off. Also, I wanted to let you guys know that as far as Rod's random work goes, he has recently created a really cool sale giving people the opportunity to own his Amber Collection replacement head for the Atrociraptor, the Jurassic World style Atrociraptor, one of the figures that we were in trouble for sharing images of, which was the basic Atrociraptor. Well, as it seems, we don't even need to concern ourselves with that figure, because we could just get a replacement head for the Amber Collection version from Rod, and he was selling them, I think, at about $8 US, which is super cheap. So if you are interested in picking up one of these replacement heads, I will include a link in the description to where you can do that right now. As far as Guilherme Bilinski Art goes, I also have some images here showing you some progress on his Brontosaurus that he is currently working on. We can see this wide angle here showing off the entire model and how incredible it looks already, but we also have some up-close images here of the head sculpt and some of the detailing that he has been progressing on over the last week or so, and it looks gorgeous already. And again, I just recently have reviewed a few different models from Guilherme Bilinski Art, showing you how incredible of an artist he is, so I can only imagine that when this Brontosaurus is completely finished, it is going to be mind-numbingly awesome, because it already looks great, and it hasn't even been hit with the fine detail fully yet. And then as far as Creative Beast Studio and the Beasts of the Mesozoic goes, we have a sneak peek here of what the Walking with Dinosaurs Scowler repaint is going to look like. He already has the art prepared, and hopefully the painting process will begin soon. It looks beautiful, that is for sure, and I definitely cannot wait to see that one and see what the final product looks like. We also have a look at something that I think is a release that is going to excite many people, myself included. We have some baby ceratopsians that are coming in the future for the Beasts of the Mesozoic line. Here we can see obviously a sneak peek of one, and it looks so cute, so beautiful at the same time, but just an adorable little baby ceratopsian. And of course it's not fully finished. No word yet when we will see finished products as far as these go, but it looks awesome already. And then moving on with the news as far as the Beasts of the Mesozoic line goes, first of all, we have some information on Old Buck, which is the Styracosaurus repaint. And if you are not familiar with Old Buck, it is an incredible animated film you need to check out. I will include a link in the description to where you can watch that. But there is some differences between this and the previous Styracosaurus release. David Silva has recently unveiled this information on us, and those differences would be that there will be two different versions actually. There will be a clean and a bloody version, so that straight away is pretty darn awesome. The figure will also feature newly sculpted horns specific to the Old Buck design, and this figure is going to be hopefully released alongside the Tyrannosaur series Wave 1 this September, which is crazy to think that Wave 1 of the Tyrannosaur series is already going to be on its way not too long from now. On top of that, we also have the very first images of the fans' choice Medusaceratops based on the white-lipped python, and wow, honestly, what more can be said about this? This is one of the, if not the most striking repaints or paint jobs in general of the Ceratopsian series or any dinosaur series that I may have ever seen. Like, you want to talk about striking, you want to talk about flashy, something that will catch your eye, it doesn't get much better than this. It is such an unbelievably visually appealing paint scheme for the Medusaceratops, and I was a huge fan of the first version, but this is far and away better than the initial version, and I am just pretty much drooling over the idea of owning this Medusaceratops. You can see even images, of course, with the original version, and I think at this point you could probably look at the two and just kind of make up your own decision as far as which one you like better, but I certainly am partial to the newer one and cannot wait to see this one get a release. And then as far as Sora's art goes, we have a look at her fully finished Compsognathus. She's hoping to be selling kits of this on her Etsy shop at some point in the very near future. When she does in fact begin doing that, I will definitely let you guys know, but I think she has done a phenomenal job on this, and I would love to have the opportunity to get some of Sora's work in my collection. As far as this particular Compsognathus goes, I actually do already have some of her work in my collection. If you can recall, not long ago I had reviewed the 2-pack based on the Walking with Dinosaurs film from Marco Makes and Sora. Sora actually helped in sculpting out the Ichthyosaur, I believe, from that set. But this compy looks fantastic. I love the base, I love the figure itself. A really nicely done release on the part of Sora, and seeing how beautiful this is, I cannot wait to see what else she produces in the future. And speaking of one of my favorite people in the world, Marco Makes, he is releasing another Rubbersaurs, and it actually is coming very, very soon. And you can see what one we are talking about. We have the Series 2 posable Velociraptor, quite clearly the Lost World Jurassic Park Raptor, which is my favorite version of any of the Jurassic films Velociraptors. I've always been partial to the Lost World, and Marco's sculpt as well as his paint is so on point, it is unbelievable. Without question, the nicest Lost World Jurassic Park style Velociraptor I've ever seen in my entire life. This obviously will be on sale on Marco Makes Etsy shop, and you can see all the information as far as when, along with the time that it will be available. So something to keep track of, something to remember so you are ready to purchase, as these usually sell out pretty much instantly. But you can again see that as far as a Lost World Raptor goes, man, it is so nice. Marco is the man, and this Velociraptor is quite possibly the nicest, not just Lost World actually, Velociraptor, but Jurassic Park style raptor that I've ever seen in figure form, and his artwork as well is beautiful. He always does a tremendous job on the actual box art and really giving it that very nice nostalgic feel to a Jurassic Park release. So make sure that you are ready and make sure that you place an order for this when it does officially hit Marco Makes Etsy shop. And then as far as Passion Charger goes, we actually have more images of the upcoming Paraceratherium that he is releasing. So on top of having more images of it, we also now can confirm that this will come in 2 different sizes. This will be releasing in 1/18th scale as well as 1/35th scale, and I absolutely love it. Paraceratherium is one of my favorite prehistoric mammals, and I feel like Passion Charger absolutely knocked this one out of the park. I'm a gigantic Passion Charger fan. If you haven't noticed from all of the models of his that I have in my collection, and of course the many reviews I have put up of Passion Charger products, but I've never had the opportunity to own a prehistoric mammal from Passion Charger, so that's very exciting. Something that I really want to sink my teeth into and get into my collection would be this Passion Charger Paraceratherium, and it looks absolutely drop-dead gorgeous. So if you are interested in this Paraceratherium, I will include a link in the description to where you can contact Passion Charger on Facebook, or as always, if you do not have social media, you can contact me and I will contact him for you. And then as far as Jurassic Justin goes, and something I am extremely excited to show you guys, we have fully painted versions of both the adult and sub-adult Scorpios Rex that he is creating. And man, are these ever the best Scorpios Rex figures on the market, no doubt about it. Absolutely annihilating the Mattel versions by a mile. And if you need proof of that, you've got this image here that shows off the Mattel version in comparison to the Jurassic Justin version. Honestly, there is no competition whatsoever between those two different sets of figures. Jurassic Justin continues to improve with each and every image that he shares, and his potential, I would say, is through the roof. And looking at these 2 Scorpios Rex, if you are a fan of Camp Cretaceous, these are unquestionably must-haves. So as always, when these are preparing for sale, and I know that Jurassic Justin is going to put some up on his Etsy shop, I will let you guys know immediately so you have an opportunity to pick some up for yourself. We also have a look at the base for the sub-adult Scorpios, kind of an early sneak peek of that, and what an incredibly cool idea. It's one thing that I really love about Jurassic Justin is how creative and innovative he is when it comes to the ideas that go into his figures, and that base is absolutely awesome and allows a really cool pose for the Scorpios when displayed. Definitely more unbelievable work on his part. And then as far as SP art projects goes, we have a few different images here showing off different stages of completion for his current model, which you can see is an Ankylosaurus taking on a Dakotaraptor. I've actually promoted this quite a few times in the past, but we now see the fully finished product as far as the sculpt goes. We can clearly see that there is a nest involved, and the Ankylosaurus is getting in a pretty good shot there on the Dakotaraptor, potentially a battle-winning shot. But on top of all of these gorgeous images here showing off just how highly detailed and how beautiful the model is, we also have the fully painted version here to take a look at. And of course, when you order from SP Art Projects, you can order it fully painted, and considering how great his products are, I've had the opportunity and pleasure to own 3 different releases from SP Art Projects already. I really do recommend buying the fully painted version. It's definitely worth the price because it is beautiful and he is incredible when it comes to his paint jobs. But obviously we can see the sculpt is fantastic as well. So just like with the Paraceratherium, if you are interested in picking this up, I will include a link in the description to SP Art Projects, but this time on Instagram, where you can contact them to inquire further about purchasing one of these unbelievably beautiful dioramas. Make sure you head on over there and purchase this because this is something that is limited, so it won't last very long, and you don't want to miss out on a set as wonderful as this. And then as far as Nanmu goes, we have a look here at the Spinosaurus, showing off first of all the base. The base looks so cool because it sports that very cool Jurassic Park 3 feel with pieces of the airplane laying there. And again, the earthy area as well. Cannot wait to see it painted up. But we also have kind of a sneak peek here showing us what the pose of the Spinosaurus will look like. Obviously, it's not a full reveal. We can't see every ounce of the body, but it looks really nice. I don't know if we're going to have an articulated jaw on this one. I would imagine so. We usually do when it comes to Nanmu models, but from this image here, it obviously looks like the mouth is in an open position. So we'll just have to wait and see how that goes, but I would imagine there would be an articulated jaw. But again, one thing I do know for sure is that this model looks fantastic, and I cannot wait to get a second Nanmu Spinosaurus as far as that JP3 version goes in my collection. I also wanted to let you guys know that as far as Shane Folks and the Cretaceous Creations of America goes, the 1/15th scale woolly rhinoceros that he was working on, the sculpt is fully done and it is ready for pre-orders. He needs 4 of them pre-ordered so that he can actually get them up and ready to go. The price is $170 US. The shipping cost would be paid later when the cast is ready. And again, being a Shane Folks sculpt, it is going to probably be the most top of the line woolly rhino you'll ever see. I think Shane Folks is the greatest paleo artist alive, so to see a woolly rhino from him is definitely one very exciting release. So if you are interested, make sure you contact Shane on Facebook. I will as well include a link in the description to him on Facebook, or again, you can contact me and I'll contact him for you. And then as far as PNSO goes, yes, we have another PNSO figure. No surprise there, but we actually have a really exciting one, as we have the Jujungtyrannus, and this is a species I have never seen get a figure ever, so this is definitely one that I'm very excited about. Like the last few releases, we've had like the Triceratops, the Styracosaurus, another repaint of the Ankylosaurus. The Centrosaurus was definitely a welcome one because we don't have very many Centrosaurus figures, but this time this is a species that I've never seen get a figure at all, so that makes the release even more exciting. And I feel like the model looks fantastic, quite possibly one of the best Tyrannosaurs that they have released yet. So very, very cool to see this one coming. Beautiful looking model, and just another incredible release from PNSO that is destined for my PNSO shelf. And then as far as the Jurassic World news goes, and this is where things kind of get a little sketchy, but the very first thing that we have is actually a Lego set. Now, I don't often cover Lego stuff for the Jurassic World line, but I thought this stuff looked pretty cool. And the first one we have here involves a Dilophosaurus and a Pyroraptor, which we can see the image here of, and I think it looks pretty fun. Again, not exactly my cup of tea, as I've never been a giant fan of Lego stuff, but some of these new Lego sets look cool enough that they kind of make me want to pick them up, and this one doesn't quite do it for me, but it definitely is pretty fun. And then we also have a Triceratops release coming, a Triceratops pickup truck ambush set, and this one as well looks pretty cool. Again, nothing amazing if you ask me, but definitely a pretty fun release regardless, and I'm very excited to see what else comes from the Lego line moving forward. Like this one. This set here is the one that's really tempting me. This one I really would like to get a hold of, but again, price-wise, it's usually pretty expensive to pick up Lego sets, but it's honestly an amazing looking set and definitely something that I would love to have in my collection. Only time will tell if I'll actually order it or not, but you can quite clearly see the information there as far as pre-order stuff goes. So this information is all thanks to Jurassic Outpost as well. And then as far as Mattel news goes, these images are actually taken, and thanks to Collect Jurassic for these, but they have also appeared on Jurassic Outpost, so that again makes me think that they're probably pretty safe to share. So the very first stuff that we have to take a look at are some extreme damage figures coming from the Mattel line, and all of these are actually available, or at least were available, on Walmart.com for pre-order. I was able to pre-order 3 of the 4. The one I didn't pre-order, I'll probably pick it up when I see one in store, but what we have is an extreme damage Tyrannosaurus Rex. Now this is the one that I did not pre-order quite yet because it really doesn't look too far off from the initial one, and it's one that I feel like I don't absolutely need to pick up right now because it'll probably be a shelf warmer, kind of like the Extreme Damage Rex is currently, so I'll probably pick that one up when I see it in store. Then we also have a Velociraptor, and I will say this is probably the nicest Velociraptor repaint we have seen from Mattel in a very long time. We have painted nails on the feet, and we also have paint out onto the tail. I'm not too super interested in the extreme damage aspect of the figures. I think it's pretty fun, but if the figure looks like garbage, then the extreme damage aspect means nothing to me. So the fact that this figure looks nice and also has the extreme damage is pretty cool. We also have the extreme damage Coelurus. which is a brand new resculpted version of this dinosaur. It looks pretty cool, nothing amazing, but definitely a pretty fun release. It's very interesting to see them choose a Coelurus to get the extreme damage treatment. And it's another figure that I did pre-order. I'm pretty excited about that one. But as far as these Walmart pre-orders go, the one I was most excited about is the Extreme Damage Allosaurus. And not just because it looks beautiful, but also because it is huge. This Allosaurus, I forget exactly what the size was, but I think it was like around 30 inches or something, or somewhere around there, maybe a little smaller, maybe a little bigger, I don't really recall. But it is huge, like it is much larger than any of the Allosaurus we have had so far, and I like the paint job of this one, really quite nice. Overall, we have paint even running out onto the tail, not all the way, but it at least helps to run out onto the tail a little bit, definitely makes it a little nicer, so that one is one that I'm very excited about. And then we also have another Mattel figure here. We have a Brachiosaurus repaint that we will be getting. And this one, honestly, I'm not too big of a fan of. Like, I think it looks okay, I guess. But it's honestly one of those figures where I could look at it and be like, I don't really need it. Like, I could pass on it. And I try to buy everything that Mattel releases. I mean, knowing me, I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I'll probably buy it when it comes out regardless. But if they would have released one with kind of like the JP3 color scheme, I would have been far more interested. I probably would have instantly purchased it the moment I saw it, but considering this one doesn't really look all that impressive to me, it's one that I could skip if I need to, but again, I'll probably purchase it. It's just not anything super exciting. And then a bunch of images that were just shown off today, again thanks to Collect Jurassic as well as Jurassic Outpost for these images, but we have our first look at the Sound-Slashin' Therizinosaurus, and this one looks pretty cool, definitely nicer than that older, crazy-looking Therizinosaurus that Mattel was considering releasing initially. Pretty decent-looking paint job, although we can't see every ounce of the figure. It definitely looks pretty fun. The sculpt looks fun. Maybe not your most accurate interpretation of a Therizinosaurus, but he definitely looks decent. Unfortunately, the nails are not painted on the feet, but it does seem like we have nails painted on the hand, which, could you imagine if they chose not to paint the nails of the hands on a Therizinosaurus? What a waste that would have been. And then we also have some really cool Ferocious Pack figures that they have unveiled on us, one of which is a baby Pseudoceratops. He looks pretty adorable, pretty fun looking paint job, nothing amazing, but definitely fairly decent. Then we've also got ourselves a Dimetrodon, which the Dimetrodon looks way better than the older one. We also have an Atrociraptor, which I believe this one would be red from the Atrociraptor group. It looks really good. Look at the paint all the way out onto the tail and everything. That's probably one of the nicest figures, I think, paint-wise, out of a lot of the upcoming Mattel figures. Unfortunately, no painted nails, but still really nice to see that kind of paint application out there on the tail. And we also have another figure that's included here, but they did not include a species name for this one. I really don't know exactly what that one is supposed to be, and considering Mattel's track record of creating dinosaurs that don't always necessarily look like their actual scientific versions, we'll just have to wait and see what that one is when Mattel names it. Then we also have a look at a Capture and Crush truck, and we can see a very cool Velociraptor repaint. I think the Raptor repaint isn't anything amazing, but I do kind of like the colors, and it almost looks like maybe there's a little resculpting. I just feel like the tail looks like it's in a different position than your average Mattel Raptor, so that one looks pretty cool, and the truck definitely looks nice. If you are a fan of vehicles in the Jurassic line, that's certainly going to be a good one to pick up. And we also have a Biosyn Hot Wheels remote controlled Jeep Gladiator. That one as well looks pretty cool, something that I'll probably pick up. I'm not incredibly anxious to grab these, but I would definitely pick it up if I can, in fact, locate one. We've also got the Thrash and Devour Tyrannosaurus, and although the sculpt looks kind of like it's the same Rex as before, but I think the paint job does look really nice on this one. I like the fact that there's actually paint down onto the feet. We've got painted nails. It's hard to tell if there's paint out onto the tail, but overall I feel like this Rex looks pretty decent. Again, it's nothing amazing. It's nothing absolutely revolutionary as far as the Mattel line goes, but it's a pretty fun looking Rex repaint. And then the final one that we have in unveiling here of is the Super Colossal Giganotosaurus, and it looks really nice in some aspects, but as per usual, the fact that the paint ends there before running out onto the tail is definitely an eyesore on the figure. If they would just include the paint out onto the tail, it would just make such a huge difference. Even without the paint though, if you look from the point where the paint stops and move forward, it looks really cool. Definitely a fun interpretation of the Jurassic World style Giganotosaurus, and I'm very excited to see this dinosaur in action in the film. And again, the sculpt of this, the paint, it looks pretty good. Nothing incredible, but still a pretty darn fun release regardless. There were also a few new reveals for the Hammond collection, but the reveals for the Hammond collection are nothing incredible. I saw a Velociraptor, like a JP style raptor. Those I haven't seen being shared on Jurassic Outpost or anything quite yet, and I'm kind of basing what I post based off of what they share, because I feel like they would probably have contact with Mattel and hopefully wouldn't share things that Mattel does not want us to see. So if they share those, or if I get confirmation that it is okay to share those images, I absolutely will in my next news video, although neither are really all that exciting, and in fact I think the Raptor looks pretty bad. But regardless, some pretty fun stuff coming from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line. I'm definitely looking forward to picking up many of these, so hopefully they'll start to hit stores sometime soon. So as of right now, guys, that's all the news I've got. When more comes out, I'll be sure to send it your way. But until then, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.